Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mavri here with episode 11 of Jibaku Shounen Hanako-kun. So last episode, we see a familiar face coming back to us, Mitsuba, who is back from the dead, I guess. Or, no, actually that's not quite correct, because he's still dead. But you guys know what I mean. He's active, alright? He's active. And we also see Tsukasa as well, who showed up out of nowhere. Apparently, he's probably the reason that Mitsuba is currently still conscious and moving around. Probably has some sort of sinister plan in regards to him or whatnot. Or maybe he's just wanting to have fun, right? I can't really tell with Tsukasa. He might just be doing this stuff for the heck of it. I think even more interesting, though, is I want to see how exactly he reacts to Yashiro, because this marks the first time that these two have met ever since Tsukasa actually tried to, if not kill Yashiro, then at least entrap her indefinitely, right? So, is that going to happen again in this episode? Well, let's find out. Alright, so I skipped the opening as usual. Let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Icon hero. And you still call him Tsukasa-kun? Alright. You certainly have a strong mental fortitude, Yashiro. Hmm? Okay. So does that really kill those apparitions for sure? Aren't you supposed to be the leader of them, Amane? Kawaii. But wouldn't Hanako be able to wouldn't he be able to reinstate her powers or whatnot? He is their leader, right? Ah, so cute. Hey, Foxy girl.
噂を変えられて消えちゃった幽霊の友達が忘れられないんだって。ちょっと2番に似てるよね。
どこがよ。そうね。いい気分じゃないわよ。今から思い返すのも。でもあれは確かに私だった。暴走したからって違うものになるわけじゃないわ。自分の中で普段押し殺している一面が無理やり引きずり出されるだけ。だからもしあんたがその子に何か言葉をかけたなら通じなくても届いてたんじゃない？だってたとえどんなに歪んでもどんなに姿形が変わっていてもその子はその子なんだから。着いたわ。この先が3番の教会よ。
鏡なのかこれ。なんつうかまがまがしくね。
言ったけど私はここまでだから。帰りは自分で何とかするのよ。
おう、ありがとな、キツネ。ねえ、だだ
私のことはヤコ姉さんとお呼びなさい。
ね、姉さん、
それでいいのよ。
それでいいの？それで少年、準備。おう、鏡野郎ぶっ飛ばしてやら。行くぜ。
Then for a surprise reunion.
面白いでしょ？貝にもあるんだよね、心臓って。
ちょっとやめて、お願い。
はい。
What would actually happen if he were to eat it?
先輩。嫌がってるからね。
女の子には優しくしないといけないんだった。
You nearly had your face smashed in, Ashura.
いい子だから静かにしててね。
Here they come. There. Right on time.
ここか、どこだ、ここか。いや、ここだから落ち着いて少年。よしろ。寝てるだけみたいだ。よかった。え？
Mitzvah?
お前、まさかミツバ？どうして？だってあの時消えちまったはずじゃ。ミツバ
Have actual memories?
怪我とかしてねえか？なんだこの手。あれはまさか3番？少年下がって。は？なんだ急に。ミツバ
Alright.
怖いよ。助けて。
So I guess eating the apparition also changes his heart in a sort of way.
意外と素早いね。
ごめんなさい。
対象は理性、つまり魂の一部。あの時俺は三つ葉の魂の一かけら、理性の部分を抜き取っておいたんだよね。あとはね、結構簡単だよ。消えかけた低級霊を寄せ集めて作った霊体に三つ葉の魂を埋め込むだけで、ほら、三つ葉の出来上がり。
That easy? Alright.
全然別物。当然だよね。人として生まれて死んだ三つ葉宗介はもうこの世界のどこにもいないんだから。
Alright.
なんでそんなこと。てめえのせいで三つ葉は消えたったのに。
一回作ってみたかったんだよね、人造人間。はあ、幽霊だから人造幽霊かな。現世には存在できないくらい弱っちくなっちゃったのは計算外だったけど、でもなんかかっこいいでしょ。
ふざけんなよ。三つ葉はお前のおもちゃじゃねえんだぞ。
じゃあこんなの作らない方がよかった？
僕消えた。
落ちちゃう、落ちちゃう。
ねえ三つ葉、生まれたばかりで何もなかった君は今3番の力を手に入れた。どうする？手に入れた力を奪われてこのまま消えるか、七不思議の席を奪い取ってこの強
Is Mitsuba gonna actually be able to get his
言ってごらん、三つ葉。
memories back or something? Or does he only look like Mitsuba from an artificial?
今ここで消えるなんて嫌だ。何もない僕のまま消えてくくらいなら、
Wait, he
それくらいなら七不思議でも何でもなってやる。
そう、それを君が望むなら叶えてあげる。今から君が七不思議の3番目だよ、三つ葉。
But I thought the wonders could only be appointed by Amane. He's the leader of the wonders, isn't he?
何これ、面白い。
この教会はもう三つ葉のもの。どんな会員になりたい？何だってなっていいんだよ。
何にでも。じゃあ僕、普通の人間になりたい。なれる？
うん、なれるよ。やめろ。怪異として彼岸に生まれた存在が人として死願を生きることは許されない。3番の席は返してもらうよ。いいの？三つ葉結構強くなったよ。ぐしゃーってやられちゃうかもよ。この場所はもう三つ葉の教会。ここでなら三つ葉は最強なんだから。ほら三つ葉、ぐしゃーって。あれ？三つ葉？あ、いた。何してんの？
来ないで。決まってるじゃん。
I have no idea what's going on right now.
見てよ、あいつ。刃物持って勝てるわけないだろ。
平気だよ。新しい力でぐしゃーってしてよ。
無茶言わないで。僕可愛いんだから。
やっ
What in the world is?
じゃあ行きますね。そこの3人、大根先輩はいいとして、よし、じゃあクレイジーナイフとクソダサ交通ピアス。
クレイジーナイフって何？
ほんとこっち向けんな。とにかくここは僕の場所になったから、お前たちを生かすも殺すも僕の思いのままなんだぞ。
These are
ビデオみたいに。
そう、エロビデオみたいにって さいし。
お前俺のこと覚えてねえのかよ。
は？何言ってんの？わけわかんない。誰だよお前。
But he does have a small piece of the original Mitzvah soul in him, right? So,
もういい？もういいよね。話して。
ちょっと待て。
だから何なの？
俺の名前はこうだ。源こう。覚えとけバカ。女顔。
何これ？
うるせえ。持ってろ猫かぶり。は
はいそこまでね。
何すん。あ、
ミツバはもっと他にやることあるでしょ。
what? Okay, we're actually gonna fight now?
おい花子。どうすんだよ。七不思議の席を取り返すにはよりしろを壊せばいいだけなんだけど、ヤシロは目を覚まさないし、まずはあの子をおとなしくさせない。
But why can't he just remain a wonder and just not live on as a human?
君はかつて主眼を生きた死者ですらない。聖者とは最も縁遠い純粋な怪異だ。
Because he's an artificial apparition.
なれない。諦めて。
But no, his point is just he doesn't want him to become a human. How did he get there all of a sudden?
先輩。
何これ？花子くんもこうくんもいつの間に？大丈夫？それにその格好。大根先輩、僕強くなったんだ。ここの主人に七不思議ってやつになったんだ。だから大根先輩に教会っていうの？壊されるの困る。っていうか、だからその、今日はもう帰って。
なんだ。
Oh. Kicked him out.
おとなしくしてて。またね。
This. Oh, yeah, they're all back here now. Alright, I think there's still some more after the ending. This was definitely a very weird episode. Particularly with how they seem like enemies but not really at each other. But anyways, more on that later. Let me see if there's anything after the ending. So see you guys in a bit. So there is indeed a little bit more after the ending. Let's watch this together in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, broadcast room. So Sakura, right?
ひどい目にあったな。お嬢元気にしてるかな。いやー楽しみ。いや
she's like, no, why aren't you dead yet?
そんでね、蜜葉がくしゃーってしてないよ、そんなこと。あら、そう。大変だったでしょ。
He's like, I've been replaced!
誰？
Alright, alright. So, see you guys after this. Alrighty, so this was quite the weird episode, I gotta say, because it basically had this sort of tension. It basically kept the tension throughout the entire episode, but nothing really happened in the end. And even when I guess the two parties, our protagonist and antagonist, were really at close range of each other, they didn't really do anything against each other, right? So it's hard to view them as true enemies, if you will. And it's, in fact, for this episode, it's even hard to determine like who exactly you want to root for, right? Because I don't know, it's messy, especially the entire situation with Mitsuba. So I don't know if it's just because I kind of misunderstood the entire setting of it. What I kept on thinking was that Amane Hanako was actually the leader of the Seven Wonders, right? And he's also the one. He's basically their boss in a sense. He can appoint them, and if they go out of line, he's the one who punishes them, right? But now apparently that Tsukasa can also help someone become, or even give them powers to become one of the wonders. That kind of goes against what I originally thought of Amane, unless of course they are both in a sense Hanakokuns. I guess that is their, I don't know, like their species, not their name, right? And so they both utilize the same sort of powers. I guess if I look at it that way, then that kind of makes sense. But the power balance is still, I don't know, it's still kind of questionable for me why he is able to do that, and that's just one part of the sort of complicated situation here, right? Another part is I don't really quite get it, why Amane is so against Mitsuba becoming a wonder, right? Like what exactly does that what exactly does he lose from that? I mean, sure, Mitsuba did say that he wants to become to have a human form and have a normal sort of life, right? But at the same time, he can't become human, right? Even if he becomes a wonder, he doesn't become human. Even the other wonders, they're not really humans. They're still apparitions. They're still ghosts in some sort of way. They might take on a human shape and form, but at the end of the day, they're still not human. They're just simply using this and using their powers as a sort of vessel to allow them to walk among the living, right? So is that what Amane is actually against? And if so, why? Like, I don't see what's the big problem or what's the big deal with this. I know, I guess that's probably something that's going to be explained in the next episode. Um, and even with all that, right? Even with all that, the fact that this current Mitsuba was actually created using a piece of the original Mitsuba soul, uh, I don't know. Can you really say he's not Mitsuba, right? Especially when you consider that in these sort of supernatural cases, the fact that you have a soul that comprises part of you, right? You are inseparable from your soul. Your soul represents you in a sort of way, and so in this case, we can say that this new Mitsuba, even though he doesn't have the original memories of the old Mitsuba and whatnot, he has the same look. He has the same personality. He probably has the same everything else except the memories, right? He's basically a clone. So in that case, I don't know. He could very well just be Mitsuba. I don't see the big problem here, right? So I don't know. It's kind of confusing, and in fact, it's also kind of hard to root for Amane, especially considering that I'm sure that most people probably want Mitsuba to continue to live on and pick up where he left off with Ko, right? Um, I do think that probably he's not going to get his memories back, but who knows? Maybe so. And even if he doesn't get his memories back, because he has the same personality and so on and so forth, there's no reason why they can't continue their relationship anew, right? So, that I don't know, that goes to be seen in the upcoming episodes, I guess. Although we are quite near the end of this season as well. Actually, in fact, the next episode should be the last episode of this season, right? The grand finale. So definitely lots of stuff that we need to go over here. Yeah, people were saying last episode that this episode was going to be more of a shock. I don't know. I feel like it was still relatively okay. Yeah, it went kind of metal when Tsukasa literally just yanked the heart out of the apparition that he killed. But I mean, I've seen worse, right? And nothing really bad happened, right? Even Mitsuba's situation, you could even say it's good for him in this sort of way, right? Like, yeah, it's one thing to force people to force someone to eat a disgusting heart or something that goes against their wishes, but at the same time it's because of that Mitsuba actually has this opportunity to become a wonder and to actually go back to the world of living and try and live a life there, right? So can you really blame him for that? Even if Tsukasa really has some ulterior motives or agenda, Mitsuba is still benefiting from this somehow, right? I mean, it's not like we can go back in time and tell Tsukasa to not kill off Mitsuba, right? So, I don't know. It's like I said, it's really complicated in this episode, and I don't really know who to root for. At the end of the day, we didn't really get to see any big battle anyways, right? There was this tension throughout, but nothing really happened in the end, which is also kind of funny, right? We get that Tsukasa clearly does not, I mean, Amane clearly doesn't like the things that Tsukasa is doing, but he's helpless towards him in a sort of way, right? And they don't really go against each other in conflict. Even, let's say Yashiro, for instance, she, even though was, she's gotten into life and death situations because of Tsukasa, and yet she still calls him Tsukasa-kun, right? So, she clearly doesn't view him as a clear enemy of some sort, and I think she also still likes Sakura and the other guy as well. Sorry, I forgot his name. So yeah, it's just a situation where you don't really know exactly what you're supposed to be rooting for, I guess. And that's kind of confusing to me. Maybe if once they truly explain like what exactly the purpose of Amane existing and of Tsukasa existing clearly, maybe I'll get a little bit more get a better picture, get a clearer picture of the entire situation. Because as of right now, the only thing that we do know is that Amane is supposed to be granting wishes for the living, Tsukasa is supposed to be granting wishes for those who are not living, and yet where do we fall in between in regards to the entire Wonder situation and what they're actually trying to do and balance. So yeah, anyways, hopefully that kind of made sense. It's sort of like a kind of a ramble, I think, but yeah, hopefully you guys get what I mean, and hopefully some of these answers will be answered in the next episode. So I'll see you guys next week. Until then, bye bye.